Okay, everybody. So we'll wait for students so they can join us. So circle is a 2D shape. 2D shape means two dimension shapes. So how circle looks like? It's like this. Okay. So the red is the circumference of the circle. This is known as the circumference of circle. And there is a center. So that is, for example, point O. So point O is known as the center of the circle. So point O is known as the center of the circle. Okay, for example, if I draw a line from this point to this point, so that point line is radius. That line is radius. And if a line is touching the circum from the inside, but from 2 points like this, for example, this is the point and that is the point. For example, the name is CD. So we can see that C to D is diameter. And we can also say that if this is diameter, so we can also say that diameter is the double of the radius, and radius is the half of the diameter. Do you agree, guys? Do you agree with this statement? Okay, so let me make something out of it for the advanced thing. Like for example,
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam, beta. Thank you so much. Okay, so for example, it's a circle, and that's the center of the circle. And if a line is touching the circumference of the circle inside from 2 points, but not passing from the circle, that line AB is known as the chord. So AB line is, the name is chord. That line is chord. Okay. And if a line is touching the circumference of the circle from the outside and passes, so that line, for example, T to A, so that T to A line is known as the tangent line. It is known as the tangent line. Tangent line. So I hope this thing is clear. So anyone can ask any question. If you have any question, you can tell me. And if you have any question regarding this, because I'll be explaining these things in very detail today. So if you have any question, you can tell me that, sir, I have this kind of a question. So you can, so please explain this. As this is very easy thing, because these things are very easy. I'll share my notes as well. Okay. Okay. There are few terminologies that we should understand before proceeding toward the circles. That what does the word bisect means? What is the meaning of bisect? Bisect means cut into half. Cut into half. And perpendicular is, in mathematics, the perpendicular is a line which is making an angle of 90 degree. Making angle of 90 degree. So for example, AB is a line. A to B is a line. And if a line is bisecting the line, so it means that, for example, if the length of the line AB is equals to 10 centimeter, and so A to X would be 5 centimeter, and X to B is also 5 centimeter cut into half. Okay. And that perpendicular is mean that this angle would be 90 degree as well. Okay. And if you get a question that it's a perpendicular bisector, so a line will bisect the line into two pieces and it will make 90 degrees angle as well, as shown in the figure in front of you. Okay, so now you should know that what is property number one. So these are the symmetrical properties of circles. So one by one, it was a pretty basic before proceeding toward the questions. So the topic is the topic is symmetrical properties of circles. Symmetrical properties of circle. I'll proceed one by one. So if you have any question regarding any property, you can ask me anytime. So the property number one, it is property number one. So property number one, and that is perpendicular bisector. The name is perpendicular bisector. So what perpendicular bisector will do in a circle? That's what we are going to study. Okay. So for example, it's a circle right in front of you. Okay. Can you see that? So for example, this is the center point. Let me change the color. So this point is known as the radius. We know this already. That for example, O, and that is P, for example, and this point is known as Q, and we know that P to Q is a chord. Agree? Now let's revise this. That what this thing is. It is something like, we know this already, that P to Q is a chord, right, Michelle?
Yes, sir.
P to Q is a line, and the name of this line is chord. Agree? And the O to P is equals to O to Q because they both are radiuses. Agree? So I can join a line like that, that this is an isosceles triangle. Do you agree with this statement or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
According to the property, what is the property now? That's the property. A perpendicular line, if a perpendicular line dropped, a perpendicular line dropped like that, dropped from the center, from the center of the circle, from the center of the circle, will bisect the chord, will bisect the chord. It means that if a line is, if you dropped a line, let me show you in a very different way. If you dropped a perpendicular line from the center of the circle, from the center of the circle, like this, like this, so it will bisect the chord. What it will do, it will bisect the chord into two pieces. So for example, if the length is PQ, and the PQ length is 10 centimeter, and that point is PX. So after applying this property, it will be that P to X is equals to X to Q, and they both will be equals to 5 centimeter. Do you agree with this statement, please? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है जी, अगर आप कोई भी परपेंडिकुलर लाइन, अब थोड़ा उर्दू में समझा रहा हूं, अगर कोई भी परपेंडिकुलर लाइन आप ड्रॉप करेंगे सेंटर से, तो वो कॉर्ड को बाइसेक्ट करेगी। बाइसेक्ट करने का मतलब ये है कि वो टू पीसेस में इसको बाइसेक्ट कर लेगी। सो इसका मतलब है कि अगर पी क्यू की लेंथ अगर 10 है तो वो 5 5 हो जाएगी, एंड वी कैन सी दैट वी हैव टू, व्हाट वी हैव टू right angle triangles inside. Can you see that? And with the help of the Pythagoras theorem, sin cos tangent thing, trigonometry जो कि भी हमने recently पढ़ा है, ठीक है, we can easily solve this as well. Do you get this, everybody? Any questions so far in property number one? So we can say that O to X is the perpendicular bisector of the line of the chord PQ. For example, this is the second property now. I'll apply the second property, first property twice in a single circle. How? Check. Property 2. It is property number 2. Okay. So property number 2 is, so let me apply the theorem in one circle, the property number one in two circle. Oh, sorry, the property number one twice in a single circle. For example, like that. So let me name it. For example, this is called AB and this is called CD. Okay. According to the property number one, we have to drop a line. We have to drop a line from the center to the chord like that. And it is a perpendicular bisector as well. So if the line drop from the perpendicular bisector from the center, it will bisect the chord as well. So equal chords, if chords are equal, equal chords have same distance from the center. Means that A to B chord would be equals to C to D if, what is this if and but? We have to study that. If O to X is equals to O to Y. Right, Parira?
Yes, sir.
बेटा जब ये O to Y का डिस्टेंस जो है ये O to X के बराबर होगा तो ये दोनों कॉर्ड जो हैं A to B कॉर्ड हो गया या C to D कॉर्ड है, ये दोनों कॉर्ड्स आपस में बराबर होंगे. इज दिस क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Palvasha, do you get this? Can you hear me loud and clear? Reda?
Yes, sir, you audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any question in the second property?
No, sir.
Okay. No need to write it down because you'll receive the soft copy of the notes after the lecture. Okay. Okay. Now I'm proceeding towards the third property, property number three, and it is the most easiest property of the circles. According to this property, it says that if there is a circle with center O and there is a tangent which is passing right from the right from the outside the circle. Wait a minute. Let me draw the tangent in a very correct way. Actually, tangent is not drawn with the correct pattern. So wait a minute. Okay. For example, this is the point where the circle is touching the circle. So it means that T to A is tangent. And for example, this is the radius. Agree? So O to A is the radius. So O to A is perpendicular to T to A. Means what? We just studied perpendicular means radius will make will make 90 degrees angle. Radius will make 90 degrees angle. कि radius क्या बनाएगा? Radius बनाएगा बेटा 90 degrees का angle. Okay. Okay, the last property is लेकिन 90 degrees का angle सिर्फ और सिर्फ tangent के साथ बनाएगा, not without tangent. Okay. So this is property number 4. So property number 4. सो बेटा डू कीप द हैंड आउट्स जो मैं आपको बना के दूंगा ये आप लोगों ने अपने पास संभालने हैं ताकि आप लोगों के पास अपने नोट्स बन जाएं. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल देर आर टू रेडियसेस. Okay, like that, and there are two tangents now, and what those two tangents are, let's check. For example, let me draw the two tangents with the help of a scale right now because I want to make it a more clearly and accurate manner, in a very accurate way. So for example, I'm going to draw a tangent like from this point, and I'll touch the second tangent as well, like this from the radius. Done. So we are done with the two tangents. According to this, let me erase the extra part as well. You can see that these two lines, they are what? They are the tangents. These two red lines, they are the tangent. For example, let me name this. For example, T, and that point is A, and that point is B. If a circle, according to the property, what does it say? It says that if two tangents meeting at an external point will be equal, so T to A is equals to T to B. इसका मतलब क्या है? स्पेशली न्यू कमर्स, it does mean that these two tangents, they are drawn from a single point. You can see that T is the single point. So these two tangents, where they touch the circle at point B or point A, they will be equal in length. For example, if this is 5, so that is also 5 as well. Is this clear, everybody?
Yes,
Because
sir.
we'll be applying these, yeah, because we'll be applying these theorems in our questions, so we have to be very much careful about that. Okay. Now there were four properties. What were they? Let me make it a very quick recap. Circle is a two-dimension shape. Okay, what a two-dimension shape is? A two-dimension shape is a kind of a shape in which what we can do, we cannot touch it. Like for example, we cannot touch the circle. As I said that this is the boundary of the circle. Boundary of the circle is known as the circumference of the circle. That's the name of the circle. Circumference of the circle. O is known as the center of the circle. O to A is the radius. We can see that O to A is the radius. C to D is diameter. And diameter is double of the radius. Okay, two times. And radius is half of the diameter. So in the second diagram, I said what? I say that A to B is a line which is touching the circumference like a diameter, but it is below or above the center. So that point is known as the chord of the circle. T to A is a line which is touching the circle circumference of the circle but from outside. So that line is known as the tangent line. Is it clear? Okay, we had two terminologies to understand. So the first terminology was bisect. Bisect means cut into half, and perpendicular means making angle of 90 degrees. I tried to elaborate this thing with the help of a diagram that A to B is a line. A to B is a line, and that line, that perpendicular line, is making 90 degrees angle, and it is cutting the line into two pieces. Then we studied what? Symmetrical properties of circle. That what symmetrical properties of circle? The property number one is perpendicular bisector, that if a perpendicular line dropped from the center of the circle will bisect the chord. अगर एक perpendicular line को center से drop किया जाए तो वो chord को दो pieces में तोड़ देगी. मतलब अगर P to Q की length जो है, if P to Q is 10 centimeter, तो half half होके ये 5 5 हो जाएंगे. Second property we studied, it is like equal chords have same distance from the center. So for example, A to B is equals to C to D. These two chords are equal if there is an if and but. If O to X, their distance from the center is same. So they will be equal as well. So property number three, that's very easy, that radius will make 90 degrees angle with the tangent. ठीक है कि radius कौन सा angle बनाएगा? Radius will make 90 degrees angle with tangent. Property number four, that two tangents meeting at an external point will be equal. So we can say that two tangents drawn from the point T and it is touching the circumference of the circle at point A, and at the second point it is touching at point B. So it means that the both lengths from T to A and T to B, they both will be equal. Now I'll be explaining you that what are angle properties of circle, and they are very interesting. So try to understand, okay? They are very interesting. Inshallah, whenever we'll solve the questions, we'll start from the basic, then we'll proceed toward the intermediate, then we'll go toward the advanced level. So these are known as the angle properties. Those four were symmetrical properties. So angle properties of circles. There are 4 to 5 properties. So the first one is it's a circle. Okay, that's this is two radiuses. So let me make this thing because we all are familiar with this design. So according to this theorem, angle at a center is twice of the angle at a circumference. So what does it mean? So we have to just write it that in this way. For example, O, sorry, that point is O, that point is O, and this point, let me name this with the black color. This point is A, that point is B, and that point is C. Okay, so angle at a center is twice of angle at a circumference. So for example, if this angle is x, so that angle will be the double of x, 2x. Okay, so the starting and ending of the arc should be same. Look at this. Okay, I'll be drawing this in a very quick way, so can you pay attention? Look at this. Starting of the arc, hitting the circumference, going back towards the center, and now going back to the start. These two arcs, they have the same starting and ending point, which is A and B. So that's the point where what we'll have to do, we have to see that whether this is the thing or not. Like, for example, let me make this in a very different way, and we'll see that whether this theory applies to those circles or not. For example, this one, let me make one more. Let me make one more here. Let's study one by one. Let me change the color. So for example, look at this line. It's a radius. Okay. So, okay. So that's the point. Okay. For example, this is the center of the circle. O. Okay. The line, Rida, beta, this is AB line, right? And O to A, they are radiuses, and O to B, they are also radius. Agree? I'll start my car and hit the circumference of the circle like this, and then go towards back towards B. Agree? Yes or no, everybody? Palvasha, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So for example, if this angle is X, so that angle would be double of X. Agree? 2X. Is it clear? For example, let me make this design in a very different way. So for example, look at this, two radiuses. I'm starting my car from the point A and will end at B after touching the circumference of the circle. Let's check. I'm touching the circumference of the circle and I'm going back. Wait a minute. I'm touching the circumference of the circle like this and I'm going back towards B. So this is the same case, okay? If this is 2x, so that would be x as well. Is it clear, everybody? Is it clear? These are the cases we have this in exam. So Mishal, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Better look at this. For example, O to A is the point, and O to B is a radius, and O to A, both are radiuses. So for example, let me hit this in this manner, and I'm going back to the point B. So for example, Mishal, if this angle is 60, so this angle would be what?
सर वो भी 60 होगा क्योंकि वो
Ji beta?
वो भी 60 होगा क्योंकि वो
Ji ji?
सर्कल के
What are you
बाउंड्री को
saying?
टच कर रहा है वो भी 60 होगा क्योंकि वो सर्कल की बाउंड्री को टच कर रहा
नहीं,
है ना
देखें
सर
बेटा,
30
जब
होगा।
एंगल सेंटर पे
30
30 होगा बेटा, it would be
ओह ओके
30.
ओके
Thanks, Isa. It would be half. So 60 divided by 2 is 30 degrees. Is it clear? And these
यस
sort
सर
of questions will be the part of paper one. And all level students in at Beacon House, they have the paper one on Monday. So kindly please pay attention ताकि आपको ये questions की काफी अच्छी तरीके से समझ आ जाए. Okay, बेटा? Is it clear? Okay. For example, let me draw one more circle for you to make it easy for you. Look at this. For example, this is a circle with center O. Okay. Isa, can you hear me?
जी सर।
Okay, beta, now this is hitting this thing. Agree? And this point is hitting this point. Can you see that?
जी सर।
Okay, let me name them one by one. For example, that point is O, that point is A, that point is B, and that point is C. Isa, if this angle is X, so where would be 2X? Where would
सर
be double?
सर ये सामने वाला है ना, ये वाला।
This outer one, okay,
हम्म,
not inner one.
नहीं मैं
Get
इनर
it?
नहीं बोला सर, मैंने बोला ओ साइड पे।
Yes. Agree? So that would be double of this. So you have to draw an arrow. आप एक arrow की मदद भी लगा सकते हैं कि ये वाला angle. Agree? Is it clear?
सर तो
You
अगर
can see
ये
that.
डबल है तो फिर ऊपर आपने 30 क्यों लिखा था जब मैंने
क्या
किसी
लिखा
को
था?
आपने कहा कि 30
बेटा देखें,
ऊपर
ये circumference पे बना है और circumference पे angle is half. ठीक है? And center पे angle is double. Is it clear?
यस सर
Okay, मैं अभी आपके सामने थोड़े छोटे एग्जांपल्स रखूंगा तो आप लोगों ने उसको एंटरटेन करना है. अभी मैं सेकंड प्रॉपर्टी पे जा रहा हूँ ताकि प्रॉपर्टीज खत्म हो जाए फिर हम क्वेश्चंस पे आते हैं. ठीक है? इज इट क्लियर? Okay. Now, according to the property number 2, property number 2. But before proceeding to the property, we should know what a segment is. So that is same segment property. Same segment property. Okay. We should know what a segment is. It's a center. That's a circle of the center. Okay. Rida, beta, this line AB is known as chord. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. But the region AB is what? It's a minor segment. Do you agree with this thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the upper portion would be what? It would be major segment. Do you agree? It's the minor segment. It is minor segment. And the upper portion would be it's a major segment. Okay. So we should understand these things before going towards the property. So now the property is, for example, if there is a circle, and everybody please pay attention at this point, okay? I'll be mixing the property number 1 with the property number 2. Okay, we studied this, that this is what this is, two radiuses. So ignore the arrow, okay? So the OA and OB, they are two radiuses. So let me draw with the red first. So for example, this is, and this thing. Okay. So now, please, everybody, please pay attention. Okay, that's very key point. For example, Rida, as I said that this lower portion would be the minor segment. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Do you? Okay, so this is minor segment. This is what? Minor segment. And in property number 1, we studied that if this angle is x, so that would be the double of x. Agree? So what if I start my car and hit the circumference and go back till B? That will be x as well. Agree? Go there, come back towards B. That would be same as well. Agree, everybody? Go there and come back towards B. That would be same as well. Go there and come back to B. So that would be same. So that means the property is angles in a same segments are equal if the starting and ending point is same. Ending point is same. बेटा बुक में जरा थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट लैंग्वेज होती है, तो वहां से आपको समझ नहीं आएगी. तो अगर वो समझ आती है तो वो भी एक ही बात है. आप देखें जरा, ये जितने भी एंगल्स बने हैं इन सब का स्टार्टिंग एंड एंडिंग सेम है. जरा प्लीज चेक कीजिएगा. अच्छा, चेक. स्टार्टिंग, ending, starting, ending, starting, ending, starting, and this is ending, starting, and this is ending. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
That's good. The
Yes, sir.
diagram looks good as well. So let me share this region as well. So this is what the second property is, that a proper that is what alternate segment term. Sorry, not alternate segment theorem. It is a segment theorem. Okay, same segment property. Okay, moving forward with the next property before because after that I'll be practicing few circle questions. So please pay attention. So property number 3 is property of a cyclic chord. Property 4, property 4 is name is cyclic chord. Cyclic quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. Okay, everybody, we know this that quadrilateral is four-sided figure. Yes or no? It's what? It is four-sided polygon. Agree, Isa? Do you agree with this thing? And cyclic means touching circle as well. Circle as well. So, for example, if this circle, and let me draw 4 points of my own choice. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll join them one by one like that. So because I'm interested to make a quadrilateral. So now this quadrilateral is what? It's a cyclic chord. Agree? Agree, everybody?
Yes, sir.
So this is the center of the circle. So O, A, B, C. So we can see that. Let me name this as D. So let me say that, like for example, this is D, this is small b, this is angle small a, and this is angle small b. So Isa, we know this that in cyclic chord, opposite angles are equals to 180 degrees. Remember that? Sorry, it's a plus c. एक्चुअली मैंने थोड़े नाम गलत जगह पे दे दिए, तो वो इस वजह से हमें आदत होती है ए प्लस बी लिखने की. तो a plus c is equals to 180 and d plus b is equals to 180 degrees. ठीक है? So you have to remember this, that opposite angles in a cyclic chord, their sum is equals to what? 180 degree. Noor, do you understand this thing? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Now property number 5. Property number 5. Okay, good job. According to this property, angle in a semicircle is 90 degree. For example, let me draw the point. So let me draw a line as well. So for example, this is the half of the circle. Now I'm going to draw an angle. So an angle in a semicircle is what? It must be equals to 90 degree. So angle in a semicircle is what? It is 90 degree. So angle in a semicircle is angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Is it clear, everybody? Okay, Rida, beta, as I said few minutes ago, that it would be a cyclic chord. Agree if I complete this? Agree?
Yes, sir.
And in this theorem as well, we can say that angle in a semicircle is 90. So do you agree with this statement that opposite angles itself, they are equals to 90, 90 plus 180?
Yeah.
So means that every theorem has their own justification for the another theorem as well. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is property number 6, and that's very easy as well. Property 6. For example, if this is a circle and there is a triangle inside the circle like that, okay, and there is a tangent line which is touching the circumference of the circle from the outside. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes or no? So please pay attention because I'll be sharing thing now. So please pay attention, okay? So you can see that this angle would be equals to the opposite interior angle. So which angle is opposite interior? This one or not? Yes or no? And this angle, let me change the color because I'm going to draw another one. So wait a minute. So, and this angle would be equal to opposite interior, which is this angle. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So we are almost done with everything. So let's start practicing now one by one. So just wait a minute. Just give me a minute only. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Let me open some questions for you. Okay. So I'm resharing the screen now. I hope all of you can see my screen. Yes or no? Okay. It's D3 book and it's chapter number 13C and it has some basic questions. And we'll practice some questions from this book because it has some good questions in it. Okay. So I'll be asking question one by one. Okay. Mishal, what would be angle A? Mishal, what would be angle A
सर एंगल 80 होगा इसका डबल
in the first part?
यस राइट सर इट विल बी
Mishal, I can't
80
hear you.
क्योंकि वो उसका डबल होगा 40 का या
बेटा आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? Yes. So angle A is
सर
what?
आपको आवाज आ रही है
So angle A is
80
equals to. जी
80
जी
होगा
बेटा
एंगल
बिल्कुल आ
ए
रही है. Yes, angle A is 80-degree double. Okay, Palvasha,
जी सर
better look at the better look at the part B. The center angle is 60 degree. So angle at a circumference would be
30
very good, half of it. Well done. Isa, if this angle is 40, so what this angle would be? Okay, Isa is not here. Rida, your turn. C would be what?
Is it 40?
Yes, very good. Alternate segment theorem. Okay. 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 Now, Barira. Beta, what would be the amount of angle D? ईसा कैन यू हियर मी बेटा बार बार लीव हो रहा है आपका क्यों ईसा व्हाट वुड बी द अमाउंट ऑफ एंगल डी इफ यू कैन हियर मी ओके जी जिसको आता है वो बता दे
It would be 360 minus
यस
30. So we are going to get uh, 130.
बेटा एंगल डी इज half 30 we just divided that is say this is equals to 115 degrees okay we have to divide this angle this is the center angle okay is it clear
No, sir.
Beta, you should be very much clear about this that this is an arc length touching this point. Agree? And this angle is making at the circumference of the circle, which is half of what angle at a center, which is 230, not the inner angle. Okay? Because that inner angle, please pay attention, that inner angle would be the half, would be the double of this kind of angle. Get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hope you get it now. Okay, look at this one. Now, Barira, try to resolve this one. Okay, how to get E, angle E?
It would be 110 divided by 2.
No, that's again wrong answer. Angle E is the half of this angle. And this angle is, we know this angle at a point is 360. So 360 minus 110 is equals to 250. That would be 250. So angle E would be 250 divided by 2, which is 125 degrees. Is it clear? Is it clear now?
सर
जी बेटा
सर ये E220 नहीं होगा
कितना
ऊपर
होगा
x तो नीचे 2x
अच्छा अब जरा देख लें जरा प्लीज ये इस क्वेश्चन के ऊपर थोड़ा डिबेट करते हैं थोड़ा सा ठीक है जरा फोकस करें अच्छा बेटा ये मैं जरा मिटा रहा हूँ क्योंकि अगर ये क्लियर नहीं है तो ये आगे क्वेश्चंस में प्रॉब्लम करेगा तो अभी इसको क्लियर कर लेते हैं ठीक है ईसा बेटा ये आपको नजर आ रहा है कि एंगल ई सर्कमफ्रेंस पे बना है राइट और रॉन्ग
जी
ये 110 की द जस्टिफिकेशन ऑफ 110 इज इफ फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई स्टार्ट अ लाइन एंड हिट द circumference and go back So I know that this angle is 55. Agree? For example, yes or no? So it
जी.
means that this angle is at the circumference and it is half of this angle. Agree? Agree? So
Mm-hmm.
that angle would be what? That angle would be what?
125.
That angle would be no 125 nahi 360. 360 minus what? 360 minus
110.
1. Yes, 360 minus
250
110.
divided by 2.
Very good, जबरदस्त.
125.
So E is equals to 250 divided by 2. अब आ गई समझ ईसा और बरीरा दोनों को?
जी सर आ गई.
गुड जॉब. ओके ईसा, अब जरा देखें F निकालना है. तो पहले आप मुझे बताएं कि आपको कौन कौन सा एंगल नजर आ रहा है.
सर
सर
40 नजर आ रहा है.
ओके, इसके अलावा अब आप कौन सा एंगल निकाल सकते हैं इसमें?
सर इसमें ओ निकाल सकते हैं.
हाँ जी, एंगल O कितना होगा?
ये 80 होगा.
80 होगा. तो पलवशा,
हम्म.
can you see that these two lines are radiuses? Agree?
Yes, sir.
So it means that this angle and this angle would be same according to the definition of an isosceles triangle. Agree?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So 180 minus 80 is 100 and 100 divided by 2 is what? 50, right? So it means that this angle is 50, so that is also 50. So F is 50. Okay, look at this, everybody. Okay, there are two parallel lines as well, and we should recall that concept as well, the concept of the Z. That's the concept, that is alternate angles. Agree? So before proceeding to that, if this is 70, so we should know that this angle is 110,
110.
right? Right, Isa?
जी 180 minus
And
70.
these two would be the same.
Yes.
Agree? As
जी.
Palvasha, you said that this is an also an isosceles triangle. Agree? So
45
that would
45.
be no 35 each. So if this is 35, so that G is also 35 alternate angle. Agree?
सर ये
Is this
35
clear?
कहाँ से आया? ओ हाँ, समझ आ गई.
बेटा समझ आ गई. गुड जॉब. चलो. ओके ईसा, दिस एंगल इज 98. कौन सा एंगल निकाल सकते हैं हम लोग?
सर ये ओ निकाल सकते हैं.
ऊपर वाला ये भी निकल सकता है, राइट?
जी सर
तो इसको
360
बाहर
minus
निकालो, ऐसी जगह
98.
नहीं है इधर. दैट वुड बी 360 minus 90.
3
So
minus
that would be what?
98.
200 what?
और
So 258
जी
या
सर
252?
No, sir, it's
It would
262.
be
360.
250.
Sir, 360 minus
2
98 आता है
It's
362.
262.
360. No, yes, 262. 262.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh, oh, okay, okay. 262. Okay. So if this angle is 98, Vishal, तो ये angle इसका half. So 98 divided by 2 is what? 49.
Yes.
H निकालना है. So please everybody, please pay attention. Check whether it is a quadrilateral or not. Because total quadrilateral is what? It's a 360. Yes or no? Is it a four-sided figure or not? Yes or no? I'm not talking about cyclic quad. It is a
Yes, it is.
quadrilateral, right? Right, Palvasha?
Seems
It has
like,
four
sir.
sides, and four-sided figure. It has what? It has what?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Okay, so 360 minus 21 minus 262 minus 49 is the missing angle H. So please add everything.
192.
360 minus 21 minus 262 काफी बड़ा आंसर आ रहा है बेटा आपका. 360 minus 21 minus 262 minus 49. So the answer is 28. H की वैल्यू 28 आ रही है. ओके ईसा?
कैलकुलेटर नहीं है फोन में लगा इसलिए.
ओके जी. ओके, थर्ड प्रॉपर्टी के क्वेश्चंस आ गए. मैंने कैलकुलेटर के बगैर ही करना किया मैंने भी. एंगल इन अ सेमी सर्कल इज 90 डिग्री. तो ए वुड बी व्हाट? 50. Because total triangle is 180, but B circle is 90 divided by 2, which is 45. Yes or no?
Sir, ये 50